Hello, hello. Testing. Testes. Testicles. I never say that. Wow. Already off to a good start. This is my first album. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. First album. I don't know who's listening, whoever you are. Must be Big Dummy for listening. But yeah, it's my first album. I'm Alan. My name's Alan Hsiao. I put out music. I have for technically since 2015. So it's technically almost 7 years, perhaps even 7 years now by the time this is out. And yeah, I done EPs and singles and whatever, but never an album. I feel like I've stayed away for some reason, maybe because there's a lot of weight placed upon it, or at least in my head, like, an album, needs to be this long or whatever. And, I just feel like maybe I'll just take the pressure off, pop this, lose my album virginity, also my real virginity sometime. That'd be nice. And just get it over with, and I don't know. I thought I'd try. I'm trying to make new music. I'm trying to make something different, that you don't normally see. And I just had this idea. Maybe I'm just gonna mostly talk. So I'm just trying out. This is mostly talking. Most of what you're gonna be hearing is talking, and then maybe some actual music thrown in here and there, if I can make it work properly. Pre-recording this monologue right now. I'm just in my room talking to myself basically, and I just have some ideas, I guess, and I want it to be kind of loose. I want it to be kind of hodgepodgey, maybe even like bad audio, where there's music is too perfect these days, so maybe it'd be nice to make it a little rough around the edges. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much, whoever you are. I'm Alan, and this is my first album. Absolutely first album. Alrighty, I'll see you on the next track. Alrighty, I used to love science in high school and, growing up through high school. And then I kind of got senioritis by the end and I feel really bad. And I just started being really bad at school. Not bad, but like, honest, I'm tangenting here already. Good start to this track. But I used to be more into science and I kind of gave it up essentially. Pretty much to just focus on the music thing. And it's sad because it's not just like giving up, it's just literally my interest dwindled. Part of what happened too was just I was getting frustrated with a lot of concepts. I was in calculus and physics and, just kept incorporating the idea of infinity eventually. And I think I have a problem with really, truly understanding something where if I can't like relate it to a physical like sensation of like touch or whatever, like algebra, cool. 1 + 1 is 2 because I can hold one apple and smash my hands together and now it's 2 apples. Like I can like understand that, but infinity, like I can't even hold infinity apples. I can't even see that. I can't visualize that. I'm trying to think of a stack of infinity apples and it just goes up into space forever. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. So number one, I got mad at infinity and I try to like rationalize it and I get mad at, I blame the science itself and the math itself. I think it's wrong because I can't understand it. So right off the bat, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that I'm, smartest guy in fixed math or whatever, but I just feel like it's not bad to be critical either though. So anyway, the infinity thing, for some reason, I could be wrong about this, but I hear the idea that space is infinite, or the universe is infinite, the observable universe. I'm just talking about stuff without really doing a lot of research, so I hope that, disclaimer, I'm ignorant dummy over here, so just don't let me just be dumb, and that's fine. Just let me be dumb. So if the universe is infinite, one thing that really just bogged my mind is like, what does that mean? So let's say we went to 1 light year out, and we were in a spherical shape. We like looked at what was inside this bubble of 1 light year. We'd see stuff and be like, okay, this happened. Here's something that happened. Let's go out another light year out. Okay, bigger space, more stuff, and it's all gonna be different, etc. But then, like, if it's infinite, that just means we can keep going, and there's just gonna be more and more stuff, and eventually we're gonna run into something. Let's just call it like almost Earth, and it's going to be similar to Earth, but maybe it's like, I don't know, it got hit by an asteroid, and we're like, well, this almost could be Earth, but it's not quite there. But if the universe is infinite, we can just keep going, right? So what if I just go out another 10 light years and another 100 light years, another 1,000 light years? Eventually I'm going to keep hitting, Earth dash, B, C, D, E, etc. until I finally find an Earth that's exactly like the Earth that we are currently in. And maybe it differs now. It differs now. Like, as soon as I snap, the Alan in that Earth, A, B, whatever, did something different finally. But if I wanted still the same Earth, I just gotta go out another light years or whatever. If it's infinite, like that's, I bet this is the most wrong thing anybody's ever said. That's not true. But it's like, that's what my mind thinks of when I think of something's infinite. Because if it's never ending, everything's going to be happening. Everything that could happen is happening all the time. So, but that would also mean that there's a giant black hole out there that is big enough to swallow the entire universe, happening immediately as we speak. So, just in theory, in practice, it's probably not true. Anyway, this was the track. So, science.
Have a happy Earth Day. Let's all go and plant some trees. Do your part to keep the world clean. Go outside and save the bees. On this day we ask ourselves how well we have done. Open your ears to Mother Earth. What does she ask of us? Oh, have a happy Earth Day. Go outside and clean the seas. Let's go solar, no more gasoline. Next year let there be more green.
All right, I wanted to take some time and just talk about introversion. Yeah, being introverted. Oh boy. Yeah, I get a little nervous when I think about this kind of thing. If it's not apparent, I'm an introverted guy. I'm currently alone in my room and I'm talking to myself. If that doesn't, explain that enough as it should be. But yeah, I kind of grew up this way, not necessarily knowing it, kind of figuring out as I went along and feeling pretty shameful about it along the way. It's funny, when I talk to family members about this kind of stuff, some people don't think it, they don't realize that I am this way because it's very split for me. If I know that I can be comfortable with someone, if I can feel like, hey, we're on the same level, you and me and another person, like same level, that's the only way I can think of putting it, then I drop my guard and I just feel like, oh yeah, we're the same. I can say whatever I want. It's all cool. Where there's no judgment. It's mostly the judgment thing. But otherwise, if I get this thing in my head where I feel like someone's better than me, they're above me, they're more popular, they're older than me, they're my teacher, they're a pretty girl or whatever, immediately like I shut down and I get super quiet. It's very hard for me to even just say words, things, make conversation. And so some people in my family or other friends, they haven't seen this side of me because I've always been comfortable with them. But it is true. I mean, for example, in high school, I was voted Quietest as a senior superlative, and I was surprised at the time to get that delivery from whoever in physics class, and it made me feel awful. Like, why the heck would that be something that you're gonna put at a superlative yearbook? Yeah, this person was the quietest person, most voted quietest. Like, how is that supposed to make someone feel good? I hope that they're not still doing that. I mean, the last thing you ever want to tell someone who's quiet, the last thing you ever want to say to them is you're being quiet. Hey, why are you so quiet? It's like, no. Like, I'm already feeling so bad that I'm not being able to speak right now. And then you pointing out doesn't make it any better, obviously. So anyway, that happened in high school. In undergrad, I took a Myers-Briggs test. I remember the first time, and I scored like 1 point away from being the most introverted that you can possibly be. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like super embarrassed, like shame. Like, I felt really bad about that. As I got older, I should explain it in sequence. There was a period of time in my undergrad later, I got very sad about life, mainly about this problem around the second year of my time in my undergrad. Feeling very alone in a new place, or just feeling very bad at talking to people and bad at, expressing myself. And for some reason, like, something like clicked. Like, all of a sudden, I went to this meeting with this like scholarship program, and I was just like talking to a bunch of new people very easily. And I met with the student like ambassador, like the guy who released students after the fact. And we talked, and he was like, "Wow, you seem so different. Like, did something happen?" And I don't know. I don't even know. I can't remember if something specific like happened to make me click, but it was a very immediate switch, and I was just so able to just like talk to everybody. Mentally in my head, I started to think, oh, everybody's judging themselves. Everybody's, nervous, and if you can understand that, then it kind of takes the pressure off. And to this day, so, okay, in sequence, that period of time lasted maybe about a year or two, and then I think I kind of pulled back again. I retracted and started to feel more like my old ways of shyness. But still, to this day, I figured out that if I can really just understand that most, if not all people are self-conscious and, nervous about what other people are thinking, then I can in my own head just be like, well, hey, we're all same, no problem. And I can say whatever I want. I can be big dummy and, it's going to be just fine. The thing is, I think it's with North American, United States or Western culture in general, just prizes extroversion so much. We place so much value on people being loud and, honestly annoying and in your face all the time. And we shame people for like being quiet. And it's like, it's more of a societal problem. Anyway, I just want to say all this to let any other introverts out there know, like, hey, it's, you're usually a deep thinker. I read that introversion means that we're just overstimulated. And our brain, like our brain is more sensitive to stimuli. Maybe everything's so much brighter. I don't know. And then we just get tired. Our sensory equipment just gets, drained, easier. So if anything, that just means we feel more, we think more, you know. And if anything, I feel, you know, a little hashtag blessed over here, to be honest. But it's just the hard first chunk of life, you know, accepting it and figuring out it's not a bad thing. So this is pro introversion. All you introverts out there, I'm gonna start a new continent, and we're gonna wage war against the extroverts, and we're gonna eliminate them. Alrighty, thank you.
Alright folks, welcome back to the Jonny Goon Show. I hope you've all been enjoying tonight's program. Up next, I'd like to invite my next guest for the evening, Mr. Alan Hsiao.
Hello. Hi.
Alright, Mr. Alan, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, Johnny. I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show tonight.
Of course. Happy to have you here. So, Alan, why don't you tell us, when was the first time you realized you were big dummy?
All right, so just being frank here, I think we should be. Money's a weird situation, and I say this as someone who's currently not earning a lot of money because I'm not really employed very much right now these days. It's been kind of freelance, to be honest, but I have a lot saved. I went to school with tuition covered, and I'm usually shy about sharing that, but I just want to say it because I want people to know it's possible. You don't need to get into debt to get education, you know. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. From the inside of this situation, it just looks like our generation is facing a giant problem. You know, everything is just getting more and more expensive, and everybody's just in giant debt all the time. You know, the middle class gap is just getting wider and wider. I keep seeing this chart. Now they're making memes about it with wage versus production disparity. You know, if you time on the timeline, it's just like, I'm very wary about graphs because you can make things look like whatever you want sometimes, depending on how you manipulate it out or whatever. But if it's true, then it's like, Jesus Christ, like, people are just not making money anymore. And it's more of a philosophy thing, you know. If I should backtrack, you know. We're born into the world or whatever, and it's like, depending on how you're raised, I guess, you know, some parents might be more, you know, adamant about what you should do with your life, but I'd say mine were pretty free and let us do what we want, and I'm very thankful for it. And so that's why maybe I look at other people's situations and I see them making their different choices, and I don't get, you know, what made them say yes. Essentially what I mean is there's a path that's laid out for you. Go to school, get essentially in debt, work a job that you probably don't like, make money, have a family or not, and then die. And it's like, was that really like what you wanted? If you were told you're about to be born and you can pick, you know, what your life could be, and there was that, or there was be a rock star, be a crazy inventor who makes something awesome, be the president, you know, what would you prefer to do? You know, would you prefer to work as an accountant? Would you prefer to work at an insurance company? Would you prefer to work at Amazon, at you know, delivering packages? Do you want to, maybe chef is cool. I mean, obviously we have use for all these things, and not everybody can be big old astronaut or whatever, but like the sheer amount of, you know, horrible jobs out there, and that like people just do just to like make money and then die. I just really, It's depressing. I don't know. I don't know any other way to put it. It's depressing. I mean, we're frickin', the smartest creatures on the planet. We can understand. We have self-awareness. We can learn things, and yet we choose to like make money and die. I mean, like, wow. I don't know. Anyway, I just feel like, you should fight for the life you want, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm recording this ridiculous first album. This is my first album. Thank you. I'm Alan Hsiao.
Congratulations! You've won a new car!
Me? Oh my god. Oh my god, a new car? I won? Oh my god, wait.
You won a new car!
Oh my god. What? Me? I won? Oh my god. A new car? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. That's what the happy people all seem to say. Oh, bright sunny skies, or rain clouds of gray, everything's going my way. All my days are the same. When no one bothers you, there's no one to blame. Oh, cash in the bank, or penniless days, everything's going my way. Oh, everyone wants something more. Whatever you've got quickly turns to a bore. I say leave behind the hypocrisy. Life is just mediocrity. Learn to love what's already yours.
Hey there, all you sexy singles. Hey there, all you sexy, lonely singles out there. My name's Alan Hsiao. I'm gonna be Love Doctor tonight. Absolutely. So anyway, I'm Alan. I've been single for probably 7 years. I didn't actually do the math on it, but it's probably about 7 years. I went through 2 colleges without being in a relationship and or actually having, even a casual relationship. I've been quite alone romantically for a long time. And I blame this on me mainly. I think I have several issues with myself that make it hard for me to let my guard down and just let things happen sometimes. It's either I get too judgmental about someone quickly and I think, oh, well, I'm not going to marry him. And then I close myself up to the possibility of having even just a nice relationship with someone who's, down and maybe expressed interest. Or I get too nervous to tell someone who I am interested in that I'm interested in them. And then I leave and nothing happened, obviously. So, and currently I'm in my room all day, so I don't see anybody. So it's me, it's my fault, and I'm not like depressed about it. I think I'm eventually, I take a lot of, I assume very comfortably that I'm going to be able to find someone and get married and all that good baloney eventually. Maybe because movies make me feel optimistic, which is the worst part of it. I mean, because it's possible it could all go very badly and I will die alone, big virgin, which is, is it really that bad? Yeah, it is. I would feel sad, but I'd be dead. So anyway, that's a tangent. So anyway, all this to say, I'm I'm not an expert on love and relationships, what makes successful, any of that, but I have opinions on it, mainly from what I've seen from other people, my friends, family, etc. My parents are, loving relationship for so many years, and it's always surprised me when I see friends and other people I meet who have had divorced parents. And the biggest thing I think that needs to be communicated, and it is being communicated more openly, and especially TV and film, movies like that, it's a more honest conversation now about how much of a compromise a successful relationship is really going to be. How much it's not just, big old kiss and now you're in love forever, Number one, I think the truth of it is you get tired of each other. You're going to, for example, marry someone or even be in love with someone, and it's not going to be that, bright, sunny day thing forever. You get tired of each other. People start to get annoying. And I personally think that we need to go into a relationship expecting this. We need to say and know for ourselves, we're going to get tired of each other in a certain amount. And I still want to be with you regardless. Be prepared for that. I think there needs to be incorporated a healthy amount of space and independence as well. Have time alone, not 24/7 with each other. Have other friends, take advantage of other people in your life. And I think, distance makes the heart grow. Is that the right saying? I think that's a song, but it might be something makes the heart grow. I think it's distance makes the heart grow. That's a song. I'm thinking the melody right now. I'm not going to sing it for copyright. I don't know how copyright works. Anyway, it's compromise is, all I'm trying to say about it. And my parents are great at doing that. And I want to be prepared to do that. I want to be ready to say, hey, I can't get everything I want, but I want to do this for you. I'm mad at you right now, or we're not agreeing on something right now or something, but I still want to be with you regardless. I want to make the effort to arrive at the solution to the problem we're having. So anyway, if it's all just compromise, then why don't you just marry someone you hate and just compromise forever? Obviously that's not the right answer either. I don't think I believe in the one. I don't think I believe in, soulmates. I think we have a lot of potential soulmates, maybe. In bare bones, scientific data, I think that there's compatibility percentages technically. There could be a 100% match someone out there in the world who is the type of person who is exactly what would agree with you and work well with you in any context. Even in things like disagreements, maybe they're the type of person who works well when you have a disagreement with them. I'm trying to explain this just to show that I'm not saying robot person or whatever, just I think there's compatibility, and you can think of it as a percentage. You're 100%. Your 0% would be someone that you think is disgusting, you have no attraction to, and they're a horrible person that you hate. That's relative, because maybe you're a horrible person too. Their personality-wise, you do not like anything about them, etc. So 0 to 100%. I think, it's all about you to decide where you kind of want to draw that line. Where do you want to accept the other person? I'm sure lots of people decide to have monogamous marriage and or relationships, at their 80%, maybe even 65. I don't know how low you want to go. And I think you can't expect perfection from everybody. I'm not trying to hold out for my 100%, but I don't want to just marry someone who's my 85 if I can be 90. Yeah. Anyway, all this to say, it's two sides, and I'm dummy. I'm single. Anyway, good night out there to all you sexy singles. This is Alan Hsiao signing out. Thank you.
who could ever show me and I give you up.
51st dates, but never a second. This might be as good as it gets, I reckon. At this rate, I'll be the 40-year-old virgin, always falling for the beautiful girls. We meet up, I tell her I think she's the one. I've never been kissed and it sure seems fun. She tells me she's sleeping with other people, and I won't be in the sequel. Just my luck, I've done it again. Head over heels for the ones who'd rather be just friends. It's about time I gave up and fallen in love.
I am terrified of dying, obviously. I don't think anybody's not. I think it's not like I'm constantly in a state of, all the time, but I have some real moments, very quick moments of existentialism, where I'll just it's weird too. It's sometimes when I'm lying in bed and I've woken up from a dream or maybe I'm falling asleep almost, and I just realize it starts to feel like, wow, this experience of living has been almost like watching a TV show, and one day it's going to end. And I'm agnostic, just disclaimer, was raised essentially that way. To be honest, leaning more towards atheism. And so I don't personally believe in afterlife. I think there's possibilities of stuff, anything can be true. And if there is a nice afterlife, I'm down, I love it. But more or less, I'm expecting for it to all just kind of end. And so most, when I do have those quick moments, it's some of the most terrifying, sad feelings you can ever feel, I think, anybody. And I'm not saying anything new, but it's not talked about enough. No one really brings it up. So anyway, I feel like that's really honestly been the driving factor with all my choices. Why I look at most people doing normal thing, work, life, job, die thing, and I get so angry and confused. It's because of this, because I for whatever reason I'm really attracted to the idea of legacy. And being able to say, wow, he was important, he did something useful with his time, he did something valuable, and being remembered. And I can't say that that's noble or good, but it's the truth. I'm really terrified of just dying and feeling like I wasted all that time, So how do you do it? How do you leave legacy? I've been trying to chase the music thing. Personally, I really want to try to invent new music. If you look, when you talk about the history of music, you always talk about the innovators who really changed music at the time and inspired other people, essentially to start doing things a new way. So I don't know. It's hard. It's very hard to try to actually come up with new original ideas. It's, most of what everybody does is just regurgitation of, different permutations of the same stuff over and over again, or they copy the new thing someone else did, and you'll see that across the board. But yeah, I'd like to invent new grooves. I've been trying to figure out what would be, just as hard hitting as Backbeat, but is not Backbeat the new Backbeat 2. Alan Hsiao just dropped the new Backbeat 2. Maybe in a different meter or something, I don't know. I want to make, music that's so powerfully feeling. You feel it so much. I want to make a song that's so sad that like I'm crying in the recording and people start crying because it's so sad. I obviously, I want to be funny. I want to make people laugh. I want to try to be so honest that I record an album where I'm just talking about things and people start to feel like they know me. You don't know me, but it's a big illusion. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so legacy's big to me. It's not necessarily right. It was brought up in BoJack Horseman, very quick scene, but they talk about how like why would someone want to have legacy? And it's true. I mean, there's no real reason for that to be valuable or important, but I feel how I feel. So this really comes from that idea of, mortality, going to die, etc., and this desire for legacy. But another thing, this is tangent, but I actually think that we're gonna probably have immortality coming up, maybe within my lifetime. I've been seeing it in several movies and TV shows. Started in Friends. I forget, the context, but Ross is talking to someone about how like you're eventually going to be able to upload your brain to a computer. And it was meant to be like pointing out like how geeky Ross is, but it always stuck with me like, wow, like that means immortality, right? And he was freaking out, and the other person, as they should be, because it's ridiculous. Then there was this TV show I saw recently called Upload, where that's literally what it's about. The premise is that you scan your brain, kind of before you die, and then you become digitally remodeled in a virtual space, and now you're conscious, And then I was watching Batman Beyond a month ago, a throwback, and there was one villain who was a digital upload of some guy, and then he becomes villain. So it's, it's prevalent. It's in our media, but like all it takes is like a brain scan, like a real powerful brain scan. Maybe we can even do it now, as long as we can take enough pictures. No, it probably needs to get on the atomic level. I don't know. But even like, let's say I live till like I'm 50, 60, 70, 80. Hopefully we can get up there. Even if it takes that long, that's going to be 20. I've never actually done this math. I'm 27. I'm 26 right now. So in another 50 years, 60 years, we're talking about 2070, 2080. Wow. By then, we're not going to, even if we just have only the capability to make the scan happen, we can't create the digital environments yet. Still, someone's going to scan my brain. I'll save up all my cash and say, scan my brain, keep it saved. And then when you're ready, I'll pay for it. I'll have the money saved. Hopefully it's not $1 trillion, but yeah, resurrect me. I'm down for immortality in that sense. It came up in a family conversation actually, and my older sister disagrees, or at least her immediate response was disagreement, as in, oh, well, no, we should die. We're meant to die. And obviously that's the point of a lot of other things, Talk Everlasting. I don't actually know what the plot is, but I know that it's about don't live forever. But like, what would it actually be like? If I lived forever, I would probably dance, eat a lot forever. I'd probably do whatever I want. I would probably spend 100 years just sleeping, living easy life. And then I'd be like, oh, I got spend another 200 years making, more music and art and learn everything. I'd want to learn everything there is to know. I'd want to get every single degree in college or studies that you can. And I'd want to build a car. I'd want to design rockets. I'd want to fly to space. Even if it's all digital, eventually they might be able to put you back in a body or a robot body. So physical too. I don't care. I would fall in love. Hopefully my first partner will also be, digitally will be immortal. But if not, let's say worst case scenario, no one I loved decided to be immortal. Then I would become this, sentient observer being, and I'd explore the whole universe on on rocket boots and just learn everything, you know. And eventually, you know, first, even immediately too, if I feel, oh God, made a mistake, you know, kill yourself then. You know, die after you can choose to die, you know, is my opinion. Anyway, yeah, I think immortality is pretty cool and pretty stoked that it might happen within my lifetime. I might be overshooting super overconfidently what I think can happen, but anyway, that's just me. So thanks. My name is Alan. Alright. Thank you. This is the outro. Thank you so much. You know, I recorded most of all this speaking in one night, before I recorded anything else, and it feels kind of weird. You know, I don't, if this ends up actually coming to fruition, because if it doesn't, I'm not going to show something. This whole speech right now won't make any sense, but if this does end up out in the world and I'm saying all this stuff and it's been formatted in this way, I mean, this feels kind of weird. But my goal was, to kind of be like maybe even half podcast, half inside my brain, and then half musical journey, you know. Musical journey, fantastical adventure, quest. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm just trying to do something new. If you liked it, I'm glad. If you didn't, I might not like this as well. We'll see how it turns out. But regardless, thanks for sticking through it. If you just skip to this track on shuffle, then you're a cheater, and go back and listen to the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, thank you. I'm Alan, and you know, I'm just a person. I'm just a person, same as anybody else. I don't want to end it too cliche and cheesy, so I'm going to just say bologna sandwich, and we're going to stop recording. Alrighty, bye.